So, and we're not doing this live, just so you know,
Okay.
because I don't want to.
Thank God. That means I can accidentally say something or need to go grab a drink or something, and you just edit that part out.
Yeah, and we can just and just in case we say anything racist, like oh whoops.
Well, I'm not gonna do that.
Yeah. Did you hear Norman McDonald died today?
What?
Yeah, I just
No
bring you all the
way.
bad news. Yes.
Dude, you literally constantly bring me comedian news.
Comedian death news. That's my calling. That's what I do for you.
What did he die from?
Cancer. He had cancer for like 10 years, dude.
What? I didn't even know.
Yeah. Have you heard his professor of logic joke?
Yes, I love that so much.
Yeah. He was just like the king of dragging things on for
He
far
would
too
piss
long.
so many people off by
Yep.
just being too like not what's the word I'm looking for? He was just like so dry with the way he was telling the joke too.
Yeah, and it works. Like most comedians wouldn't be able to do that. They would tell the joke exactly the way he does it, but I've heard other people try to tell his jokes and they completely butcher it. And it's just the way he kind of forgets what he's talking about and then changes names like mid joke and forgets where he's at, and then he hits you with a punchline and it's like the cheesiest, most dad punchline ever, but it works.
Oh yeah.
Alrighty. So I'm already recording. Okay, cool. Well, I guess we'll just start the podcast now then. Let's see, what did I do? Okay, I put a bunch of things down in a Google Doc, and they're kind of all over the place, but just random things to talk about. So
I like it.
I think at some point I'm gonna try to get like an intro song or something really low key.
Ooh. Can we do an intro right now really fast?
Yeah, sure. Go for it.
All right. Hey, how's it going, everybody? Welcome to the Kyle and Kyle Show, where the two Kyles talk about nothing but being Kyle. How you doing today?
I'm doing okay. How are you?
I'm too pippy for this.
It failed. Well, my intro was, welcome to the Kyle and Kyle podcast. The only podcast where after listening to us, you'll realize that, wow, true love doesn't exist.
Oh, shit. And is that going to be something different every single time, or?
Yeah, so we'll have a different intro every single podcast.
I love it because that's what we used to do on mine. We used to be like, "Welcome to the XVE podcast," and then we'd say like whatever. When I used to go by Limitless XVE on everything. That's so good.
Yeah. So we'll have a different intro every single time, but that's pretty much what it is. So this is episode 1 of the podcast. There wasn't an actual plan. I just wanted to just hang out with Kyle because, I mean, my name's Kyle, and we kind of just, I think all Kyles at some point or another just mesh well.
Yeah.
There's like
I've never met another Kyle I've never got along with.
Yeah, exactly. I have the same thing. I've met probably 4 or 5 different Kyles, and they've all been like super chill. Like, they don't take themselves too seriously. They're very laid back, and it's funny because there's a video on YouTube.
Okay, hold up.
Yeah, so there's a video called When Your Name is Kyle, and it's basically this fucking white boy, scrawny ass white boy who's just hardcore drinking monster, aggressive, aggressive as fuck, and just like stabbing shit for no reason.
I
And
know.
when I watched that video, I was like, wait, do all Kyles do that? And I looked up our name, and that's actually a thing. Like Kyle is basically like a Chad.
Wait,
So
we're Chads?
yeah, so Kyle, Chad, Dave, uh,
Trent.
Trent, Dylan with the fucking backwards cap.
Oh,
Yeah, I guess our name kind of falls into that weird batch of people.
yeah, but it's like you said, every single Kyle I've ever met has always been chill, never takes themselves seriously at all.
Yeah,
All three other Kyles I've met, including you, wear Crocs. That's just the thing that Kyles do, I guess, except for me. I'm the outlier here.
yeah.
Oh, wait, I gotta ask.
But
Regular or sport mode?
regular. I didn't. Is there a sport mode?
Yeah. if you take the back part of a Croc, like the strap thing, and like put it up over the back of your heel, that's considered sport mode.
That's the dumbest fucking thing I've ever heard.
Yep.
I guarantee. Yeah, a Kyle probably made that up. He's like, you sport mode, or what'd you say? Cruising or sport or something?
Yeah, you cruise under sport mode. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, see, that sounds like a Kyle thing. Yeah, so I started streaming again. That's weird.
No,
It's
I think it's
been-
great.
Yeah, it's been like 4 or 5 months since I started streaming. And it was my first stream back. It was a cocktail making stream. So like towards the end, and you were there too. Like towards the end of the stream, I was already getting like pretty schwasty, and I was like, this is a pretty good way to come back to streaming. And you started streaming too again.
Yes, I've finally broken out of my. To be perfectly honest, it was a very deep depression, and it consumed me. All I could think to do was work and then come home. So like for a very long time, I did not want to do anything, but I finally broke out of that, and I'm so glad I did, because being back on Twitch is amazing. And I know I wanted to ask you, like, how is YouTube? Is that like a fun scene to do that on, or?
Well, yeah. I mean, it's not complicated to stream on YouTube. The user interface just sucks. Like, it's fucking garbage. Twitch has a lot of basically like bells and whistles. Like you can do all kinds of shit on Twitch, but my whole reasoning for leaving Twitch was because of all of the bullshit that they just don't seem to stop pulling.
Yeah.
One is like the hot tub streams, and me personally, like you can do whatever the fuck you want to do, but on a website that has a majority of the users are 13, 15 years old, then being able to just watch that freely, that's definitely got to be something that's gonna fuck up that that small little window of generation on how boys will become men and think that the types of conversations they can have are going to be normal when they're chatting with somebody who's doing some definitely sexual content. It being so accessible to a younger audience, that for me personally was just like, this is too weird. And plus too, man, they got gambling, which is a far bigger issue too. Which kind of just show people that you can gamble and it shows it basically in a way that you're gonna get lucky and you're gonna win big all the time. But in reality, if you gamble, you're gonna lose far more than you earn, statistically speaking. And same thing. Young kids watching that stuff and be like, oh wow, okay, this is okay. So I should just go and, hey mom, let me borrow your credit card. So
yeah. So for both points there, when it comes to the hot tub streams, I agree. People should be allowed to stream whatever they want, but I think that there should be a lot more regulation, like way more regulation, especially on a website like Twitch, for how they handle who gets to see that kind of content and who doesn't. I think that with how often people can go into those at a very young age and are exposed to a type of content that's not entirely like blatantly sexual, but can be conceived that way and oftentimes is performed in a way that's meant to be conceived that way. It takes a lot of like of the legality and the moral lines and blurs them, because you look at any of those chicks and they know what they're doing. Like,
yeah,
there's
sure.
no way they don't. And
yeah,
it's perfectly fine because they're just doing the hustle. Always respect the hustle. That's how it goes. But there needs to be a regulation for it, and that's Twitch's fault, honestly. There needs to be some handling of who gets to see that kind of content, even if it's like subscriber only streams. At least then the 15-year-olds who are like, Mom, I need to use your credit card, and they're like, oh, for what? You know, they could try to lie, but as soon as that charge pops up, that's like, oh yeah, Twitch, you know, and then they find out what their kid's been doing. It's game over.
Yeah.
And then on the gambling thing, that is something that I've always thought is very bad, and I agree with on an extremely like personal level, because I used to be one of those people that watched the Counter-Strike Go like skin roulette things, and then there was a huge controversy over that because they ended up all being like rigged, like it was like meant for the streamers to win. So I would watch these, and even in my own head, I was like, oh yeah, I need to try this. I need to, you know, get on there and buy a bunch of keys for crates and roulette my skins off and make big cash. And I never went and actually did it, thank God, because it was such a big scam. But like, there were a lot of times where I was very tempted just because of how awesome they make all that seem.
Yeah, it's just, I don't know. Me, like, just morally, I'm like, I can't be on this site, and everybody, our whole little crew is on there, you know. Aaron, Lizzie, Victoria, they're all there. And the way I see it is like, you know, I will go there and support them, but for me personally, I'm just gonna fucking remove myself and go over to YouTube, which is had its fair share of problems, but I'm the type of person where I'm okay to just kind of drop everything. And truth be told, I didn't have a lot of weight with Twitch, you know. It wasn't like I'm gonna lose subscribers or I'm gonna lose donations or bits or whatever. Me, I personally don't give a fuck about getting subs or bits or whatever. I literally do this for fun, and then that's it. Like that's the only reason why I do it. And I mean, I could stop tomorrow, but I don't feel like it. I have these ideas in my head that just kind of pop up, and I'm like, you know what? I want to do that. And then that's the only reason. And it's kind of cool too, because YouTube, since it doesn't have a lot of the interactivity, it forces me to be more creative in how to stream, or something that I think of later while I'm streaming. I'm like, oh, this would be a good idea during this part. And then I start like doing bits live, and then it just kind of becomes a thing rather than just like hitting live or start stream and then just playing a video game. It's like I try to make my shit entertaining, basically.
Well, I'll tell you one thing. Your text-to-speech RE4 video, I have watched that at least 3 times now, just because the editing is so funny. Like, you definitely have the editing, like, comedic timing down to a T. Like, you're very good at that. I love watching that video. I think that you're right there. YouTube definitely has a bigger chance, especially because YouTube has always been a more video focused platform, but now that it offers live streaming, there's a lot more of a like contrast in how you get your content out to people with that. So you'll make videos that people can see, but then it's like they catch that and they subscribe to you. They're like, cool, but then they suddenly see you're live. So it's like that's a 2-hitter right there. You know, you're killing 2 birds with 1 stone. Now you got people watching your live stream. So I definitely see it as a useful thing for the platform. Me personally, I will probably always stream on Twitch no matter how much I shit talk them. One, because I've been in this game on Twitch since 2016. I've been streaming for 5 years, on and off. I haven't been consistent ever, but I have live streamed from Twitch TV since I was 2016. I would have been like 19, 20 years old. So I've been doing it on this website for a very long time. It's just the one I'm comfortable with, you know, and I have a little bit of weight because I have affiliate and stuff, and like I actually like want to take that seriously. And sometimes in my head it's like, you know, everybody gets the, well, what's the point, like, if you're not getting a lot of views? But like, I've started looking at it more the way that you said, which is like, just do it for fun. And then like, when I do that, but then also get the benefits from being an affiliate, that's when I'm like, okay, this is definitely worth it. And I'm really enjoying my time on here. Like today I streamed for 4 hours, and usually when I'm streaming a game and I go for 4 to 6 hours, I'm exhausted. But today, because I didn't get to do it for so long, where I've been working my IRL job so much, it felt like I was getting to do like one of the most fun things I could do in like weeks. And I had the time of my life. I didn't really have a whole lot of super crazy commentary, but like I played Subnautica again, and it was just a good stream, like all around. There wasn't really a whole lot going on. It just felt nice and relaxed. And I think it's really good to have streams like that where it's like mellow and everything's not too high energy or too crazy, you know?
Yeah, I can honestly only stream, like, the longest I've streamed, the longest I've ever streamed was probably like 3 hours, like 3 hours 30 minutes, because it's fucking tiring. Like, it's hard to like, and it's not a lot, you know. I mean, you're playing a game, and for me, I always play a game in silence. Like, I don't say a fucking word. I'm just completely quiet, enveloped in the game. And then there's an occasional gasp or, oh shit. But trying to play a game, focus on what's happening, looking at chat, paying attention, trying to make jokes, be entertaining, but also trying to keep a conversation going with whoever's there. It's so fucking tiring. And like after about 2.5 hours, my energy just starts going, like, it takes a big dip, and I just don't feel like doing it, and I'm just like, yeah, I'm bored. So then I'll just like, okay, that's it, I'm done for the day, good night.
Yeah. Well, I don't think there's a right amount of time to stream. I've seen people stream for all different amounts of like time frames. I think it's like the most important thing is that you focus on what content you're putting out there. And specifically when I say this, I want to specifically shout out like Aaron, A-Bomb P19, and Lizzie, Lunar Lizzie. They both, when they stream, they don't really like say they're going to go for this long. They just go, well, I'm tired, I'm going to go. But it doesn't stop them from doing a stream that makes you want to be there. And I think that's really cool because like when I've seen other people stream, and it doesn't matter what their overall vibe is in the moment. What matters is like how they are presenting themselves in the long run. So like I'll go to a stream and I'll see that someone is like, maybe they're frustrated at something that's happening in the game or something. I don't go there and look at that and go, this guy's just a rager who gets mad at the game, you know? Like, you got to give people time. And I think a lot of people who stream for shorter amounts of time actually are smarter because they're presenting more of themselves at their highest energy in a shorter time frame, and I think it offers a more enjoyable experience because it's like it's just a quick hit and run, you know, 2-3 hours. You see this person having blast playing the game and making funny quips or, you know, giving really informative information on the game, and then that's it, and it leaves you wanting more like the next time you go, and I think that's a really good way to go about it.
Yeah, that definitely is. And I always tell everybody like to like take breaks. I feel like slightly bad when people post stuff like there's their stream schedule and they're like, oh, I'm gonna be live these set amount of days, and I'm just like, I can't do that, dude. Like, that's
I'm the
like,
same exact way. If I set myself to a schedule that I know I'm going to have to follow, then it turns into a job for me, and fuck that. I hate jobs.
Yeah. So, but I'm actually doing a schedule. So I'm streaming Wednesday and Saturday, and that's honestly it's like a bad time because like I'm doing all kinds of other things during this week, but I was just like, you know what? I have these ideas. I might as well fucking do them. So, but I applaud anybody who sets a schedule and actually sticks to it, because not me. Can't do that shit.
Yeah, anybody that can actually set a schedule and they can make themselves follow it to a T, and they promise their viewers they're going to stream at this time, and they do it unless something happens like in their life that makes it so that it's not possible. Those people are a special breed, because I personally have always looked at it like this. Don't set a schedule, stream whenever you feel like it, surprise people. Like, because I love that people just like are, oh my god, Kyle, you're streaming, hello. Like, that's a good feeling, because it's like, it means they're happy to see me and that they wasn't like expecting something like crazy or anything, you know? So like when I just kind of pop in, I'm like, hey, what's up? I'm streaming, and people are able to show up to it. It doesn't always work because not everybody's schedule is always like able to make it, but that's okay, you know? It's a roulette. You play the roulette, you see how it goes. And yeah, I respect the hell out of people that do schedules, but I will never do one myself. No way.
Yeah, they're fucking aliens. That's what they are. So
yeah, guys,
good for
you're
them.
aliens.
You're aliens. Get the fuck's wrong with you? Well, what do I got here next too? Well, that was a cool stream talk. That was different. Oh, so usually when I'm on the internet, I fall into weird holes, and sometimes I just like. So when I'm bored at work, I put two random ass words together, and then I see what I find. And a couple of days ago, I Googled influencers, and you know the influencers, people try to sell shit and weird.
Basically, the mindless corporate drones that are considered popular social media people.
Yep, and then you ask them, it's like, what's your brand? And they're like, oh, it's positivity. And it's like, well, what does that mean? And then they're like, you know, just positive. But anyways, I Googled old influencers.
Ignore that.
I was like, oh, cool, you did a bit. And I was like, okay, that's cool. I'll take it. So I Googled old influencers, and what do you think that is?
So in my head, old influencer, now at least, Given how often things are mislabeled as classic or retro in this day and age, an old influencer to me is like Tobuscus or Shane Dawson before he was controversial as all hell, you know, or like Smosh. Like, those are the original virals that like would in the modern day be considered influencers.
Okay.
So this
good.
So I'm
good
terrified
guess.
to ask. I was gonna say
Yeah.
I'm terrified to ask what actually does it mean?
It literally means old. So there are old people, like elderly people who are influencers. And so just picture what a normal 20-year-old influencer would dress like, how they would take pictures, and how they would present themselves. And now take all that and apply it to a fucking 80, 70-year-old human being. And that's what you get. It's fucking disturbing. There are
What
some okay...
am I looking at?
There are some okay ones, meaning they dress appropriately, meaning they're not too risque. You know, they're very classy about it. You know, they're very, very chill. But then you have some people who are just a bit too much, and it scares me. Like, it's nightmare inducing images. Like, this is...
Speaking of that, can you please in the video to show everybody what we are referring to post or edit in that picture? That's literally just a granny dabbing.
Yeah. So I'll put pictures in there, but for our audio listeners, if you're bored and you want to just, you know, take a look at what we're seeing, Google old influencer, and the first link that pops up in Google, just go and take a gander, and you know, do this on incognito mode, because it's just fucking, you don't want this in your search history. This is just terrible. So, yeah. That was
Who's your favorite old influencer?
Nobody's discussed. I know. That's...
Sorry, I had to ask. I had to make sure.
Yeah. So, Kyle, you've heard about movies, right? These things called movies.
Taking a gander at them, you know.
Yeah, or well, cinema, as Martin would say.
Oh yes.
Have you seen any good cinema lately?
The last movie I watched was James Gunn's Suicide Squad. And I gotta tell you, I was not impressed.
Oh, really? You like it?
And I didn't hate it, but it was a very just like, alright, kind of movie. The last movie I saw that I truly like enjoyed was Once Upon a Time in Hollywood.
Ooh, yeah.
That was a banger. That was a good one.
Yeah. That was a really good movie.
What was the most recent movie you've seen?
So there's this movie on HBO Max that just came out a few days ago from the dude who does the horror movies. What's his name? James Wan.
Oh, James Wan, yeah.
Yeah. So he made a movie called Malignant? Malignant, yeah. Yeah, Malignant. And I watched it. Me and my wife, we watched it, I think over the weekend or during the weekday. But that movie is fucking bonkers, dude. It is the weirdest horror movie that I've ever seen since probably 2006. And it brings back like 2006, 2002 vibes. I was like so prepared for them to like shove a Rob Zombie song like for a montage scene or something.
Right.
It's so crazy, and the trailers they did such a good job on the trailers because you don't know what's happening throughout the entire movie. I kind of was going down different paths as I was watching it. I was like, oh, I think it's going to be this kind of movie. And they kept just hitting dead ends. And at the end of the movie, it's just fucking, it's so weird. But anyways, so there's this one scene and it hit me so hard. I could not stop laughing. You could probably look it up. Go to YouTube and put in Malignant and then put chair throw.
Okay.
And I'll paint a scene. Spoilers for anybody who's watching or listening. If you want to not skip, I will leave a number right here for you to skip to. Or yeah. Anyway. Okay. So it's so good too. So
holy shit.
Yeah, so basically the villain, the monster in this scene is doing like some Matrix shit. It's dodging bullets, the cops are trying to shoot him, there's gunfire all over the place, and this fucking monster is just fucking jumping off walls, doing backflips, sliding under tables. It's basically like pulling off some fucking Apex moves in this police station. And it's killing all these cops. And these two who get the chair thrown at them, they are the last two alive. And so after the monster went through pretty much every single cop, these two are trying to get away. And the fucking monster like stands up straight, looks at them, and they're probably about 10, 20 yards away, picks up a chair, and like I kid you not, like looks dead straight at the fucking camera, and then
watch this again,
and then proceeds to fucking throw the chair at them.
I was gonna say, and it doesn't just hit, the thing shatters. Like that thing exploded when it hits them.
Yeah, and the greatest part of that too was that it wasn't a death blow. It wasn't meant to be a death blow. The monster was like, hey, check this shit out. Fucking throws a chair, and then they fall on the ground, and I start laughing, and then it stands up on the table for like 10 seconds, and then just fucking walks off. And that's it. That's the end of the scene.
That's the whole scene. Yeah,
it's.
By the way, the one that was on YouTube that I saw, fresh video from 2 days ago. It literally was a 4-second clip of it with WWE edited over it. It was like, watch out for the chair! I'm gonna send it to you so that you can see it too.
Oh god, that's just.
So I didn't get to hear the actual audio, but that's fine because that was just as good, if not better.
It's just that honestly redeemed the whole movie. It made my entire viewing experience completely worth it.
Yeah. So my thing with that movie was like the beginning makes it seem like sorry, I have to yawn. Just cut this part out. Oh, my bad. Okay. The beginning of the movie makes it seem like that there is going to be so much more screen time, and the trailers did too, with so many of the characters. And then, like, you know, what happens at the beginning of the movie happens at the beginning of the movie, and I'm just sitting there, like, watching it, like, what the fuck? Like, half these characters are just gone. And I'll be honest, I'm not very familiar with the Suicide Squad DC comic books at all. I've seen about as much as probably 95% of the audience that watched that movie has seen. So I didn't know how important any of those characters were anyways, but like I felt like it was just like short-lived just for the sake of pulling a joke at the beginning. And that really threw me for a loop. James Gunn's style though is to subvert all expectations. Like, so I mean, it makes sense in the long run when I really think about it, but when I was watching it at the time, I was like, what is this? Like, half these characters are just dead already? Like, okay. Whatever. Bye. Spoilers, by the way. Sorry.
No, I think... I mean, if you have HBO Max, you should just fucking watch it. But if not, I don't know. I have so many movies, like, things that I just need to watch. But I honestly will probably never get to them. Like,
I actually wanted to ask you, what is your favorite, like, movie? Do you have one?
my favorite movie? Shit.
That's like a deep question, I know.
Put me on the spot here. I don't know.
Come on, Kyle.
Well, I really enjoy Scott Pilgrim. That's the first thing that comes to mind.
Good choice. That's a great movie.
Yeah. Edgar Wright is just a fucking master of his craft in making you pay attention or putting small little things around to where when you watch it again, there's something new for you to catch. There's something new for you to see. What else? What else is another good movie? Last Action Hero. It's fucking gold.
Really?
No,
okay,
I'm just kidding.
Kyle. I was like, okay, Kyle. I was about to say.
I can't. Honestly, I can't think of a movie. I'll probably think of something as soon as we hit end. I'll be like, "Oh fuck, that's a good movie." But
I have a movie that I've always known was my favorite movie.
Godzilla, Matthew Broderick.
Nope. No, not Godzilla 2000. No, don't even talk about Godzilla 2000. That movie pisses me off.
That's actually considered a horror movie.
What?
Yeah, if you go to Hulu and you go to
they have it on Hulu.
Yeah, if you go to Hulu, it's on like the trending horror movies. It's probably about like 12, 15 down the line to the right. But yeah, Godzilla is considered a horror movie by Hulu standards. And the whole reason I know that is because I couldn't fucking figure out what to watch yesterday. So I was just endlessly scrolling Hulu and that was there. And I was like, huh, that's interesting. But hey, I'm not a movie connoisseur, so I don't think I have any.
I hate it because it's such a pretentious thing to say. Like, I don't consider myself a cinemaphile, but I love the way like certain movies are shot. Like, so I watched Dunkirk when it first came out.
Ooh.
And I was in love with the way that they did that because, like, I understood from the beginning what was going on. I was like, oh, this is not all happening at the same time. They're jumping between different parts of the war. But, like, everybody I was watching it with was like, what the fuck is going on? Like, you know, they're like, I don't understand, like, because they're fine and then suddenly they're not. But, like, just the way that they were representing, like, the story direction was so scattered and confused, and I loved it because it reminded me of like what I've always pictured, at least when it comes to war, how it feels, because it's like hopefully we never have to experience what actual war is like, you and I, you know. just saying, but like
knocking on wood there.
What what I've always heard is that like it's a very scattered and like in the moment thing. Like, I love history, so I'll watch a lot of like interviews with like old World War II veterans and stuff. And when they like try to recall things, they jump around a lot, and I think that a lot of that is represented really well in that movie because it's like it's a recollection sorry, of like how this whole situation in the war went down, but like it's so scattered all over the place. It's meant to be hard to follow because people that experienced it have a hard time remembering it exactly the way that it went down. And I think that's a really neat like way to tell a story. Another one that I always think of is Old Boy, the Korean version.
Korean version. Okay.
Yeah, that scene, the fight scene with the hammer in the hallway, the way that is done is one of the like most amazing like cinematography feats ever. It's like all in one take, there's no stopping. It's all just it's constant. That whole I think it's like a 7 or 8 minute fight scene, something like that. It's one of the longest fight scenes in a movie. It's like just it's consistent and it's all in one go, so everything looks so natural and fluid. There's no camera jumps or anything to trick you. Like you're seeing everything as it's happening, and it's like choreographed so well.
Damn. I haven't seen the Korean version of Old Boy. I've only seen the American one, and
Ooh.
I laughed. I thought it was fucking hilarious.
Yeah, you should watch the Korean version. It's a lot. It tells the story way better than Spike Lee's version did. I don't hate Spike Lee as a director at all, but he has this thing where he fucking his ego gets in the way. And
he does the Spike Lee thing.
Yeah, it's for the worse and not the better.
Yeah, I just thought it was fucking hilarious. It was just, I was just when he finds out that what he did was with his daughter, I just heard the meme in my head like bruh.
Just bruh, yeah.
Bruh. I could not stop. Like I was like, oh my god, that's just ugh.
Oh man, who is that they get to play as him in the English version or the American version?
It's Thanos.
Yeah, Josh Brolin. That's it.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, that dude is a fantastic actor. He got fucking shafted being in that movie. That movie was not made for him.
Yeah. Not a lot of dialogue either. So it was just a lot of weird silence, but it was all right. I at the end I was like, okay, that was a movie. it did a thing.
It definitely was a movie. Yeah, you should definitely watch the Korean version. That's a fantastic film. You ever watch Sin City?
Oh yeah, totally.
Okay. That is another one that I love the way it's shot because I love that it does the comic book noir storytelling. Like that is so awesome.
Yeah, I didn't like the second one though. The second one really sucked. I was very, very disappointed. It was honestly, it took too much time has passed. They had a chance right as soon as the first one came out, but too much time went by and it just lost interest. So I think that's what bothered me about the second one, but the first one is great. I really liked the first one.
Yeah. There was the second one had a couple of good moments, but yeah, I also think that it was like they wanted to conclude a story that really didn't need a conclusion. Like the whole idea of Sin City is that like it shouldn't end happily. Like, and
yeah,
I think that a lot of the extra stuff that they threw in A Dame to Kill For was just unnecessary because, like I said, the whole idea is that Sin City is like it's not going to be a happy ending. Like that's just the way it goes. and I think they kind of threw that out the window by them actually going and getting revenge on the mayor and stuff. You know, they like straight take it to the top. Like that's no, shouldn't have happened. Should have just let it go.
Yeah, should have just fucking let it die. It was good, but that's how things work, man. It's like they want to make that cheddar cheese.
Yo,
They're like, how much more money can we make? And then they're like, I feel like they kind of just throw shit to the wall, see what sticks, and like, that's it. That's what we're making.
Oh yeah,
everybody, get your hats on. Let's go fucking make some shit.
That's I feel like that happens with a lot of sequels. There's only been one sequel to a really old film that like when they made it, I actually loved it and loved the way that they like made it connect to the original. And I'm a little biased because the original is my favorite movie of all time, but Blade Runner 2047
yeah, that's a good one.
was
That's
such a good like sequel to the original after all those years. Like it blew me away. I was so in love with the way that they did like everything, especially with like Deckard, like Harrison Ford's character. And I've never seen a movie that was that far apart from the original stay so faithful to what the original was like trying to convey and its like themes and stuff. And it like hit the nail right on the head with that. It was so good.
Yeah, it was really great, and that was no. Yeah, I think that was probably like the weird era of like where people were wanting like cyberpunky things. You know, you started seeing a lot of like weird new wave retro music and images all come up. I remember because I remember like being like on YouTube when that movie was coming out, and I don't know if it was just because it was coming out. Like I'm pretty sure it already existed, like that music, that the images, the scenes, and all that stuff. But it just seemed like when that movie came out, it just bred new life, and then you had the wonderful 5-star game Cyberpunk 2077.
Okay.
That masterpiece.
Let's tiptoe around this topic because Cyberpunk's a hard one for me to talk about because as you just said, that was an awesome time for me because I love that aesthetic. Like I was down for that. Like my favorite band that isn't like, well, one of my favorite bands of all time, I should say, is Gunship, and that's what they do. They do that new synthwave, like 80s style retro stuff. Fucking love that whole style. I love Kavinsky. But what got me into that style wasn't even the cyberpunk like resurgence. It was actually the one that kind of focused like same aesthetic, but like it focused more on the like modern and not like futuristic version of that. So like the movie Drive really pushed that really well. I love that movie.
That's a good fucking movie too.
And the video games Hotline Miami 1 and 2, both of those things alone like had such a heavy influence on my love for that like style. And I mean I literally have one of those jackets because I'm so in love with that style, like that leather Letterman style with the whatever graphic, you know, on the back. Yeah, like it's just it was just such a cool thing at the time, and I still listen to the Gunship a lot, and I still appreciate that aesthetic, but I don't like do it so heavily now. But when it was exploding, it was definitely because of that movie and a couple other things. You're definitely right there.
But yeah, speaking of cyberpunk and video games, did you see the PlayStation showcase?
I saw bits and pieces of it.
I was super hyped for fucking Wolverine. Did you see that?
Yeah, I did see Wolverine. I saw Wolverine. I saw Spider-Man 2. I saw the one that was big for me. I'm so glad I caught this right before I left for work. Was Star Wars: Knights of the Old Republic being remade. That's a big W for someone like me. But
I've never played it, but I understand and appreciate the love that people have for those types of games. It's an MMO, right?
no, the Old Republic
No.
is the MMO. Knights of the Old Republic was the game from 2003 that was a just RPG that was made by BioWare on PC and the original Xbox, like the OG Xbox.
Okay. Yeah. So yeah, when I saw that, I was like, oh, cool, Star Wars. I've seen those movies.
I was like, oh my god, they're remaking Knights of the Old Republic.
the only Star Wars game that I was just like completely invested in and spent way too much time playing was Pod Racer on the 64.
I loved Pod Racer. That game was fire.
That game is so great and made me hate Anakin. Like just as as a character, like he's just so fucking annoying. But I feel bad even saying that because that kid already got so much shit from just being in the movies. And but yeah, that was the only Star Wars game that I've invested in a lot of time too. But yeah, Spider-Man, I was super hyped. That game made me cry. I was bawling like a little bitch at the end.
Oh, dude, Spider-Man PS4 was an absolute monster. How dare they sneak in that such an emotional and powerful like ending to like the Spider-Man game of all things, you know?
I know, and just like completely, and that's something that's I don't think has been done in any video game, or it's probably been done in a comic somewhere the way it ended, but it was just it was good.
I mean, Spider-Man as a comic book has had loads of tragedy. You know, Gwen Stacy's death, Aunt May's death. Like they have all these different arcs and stuff where really important characters die, and it affects Peter in very different ways. But like, for them to do that in a game in the Disney Marvel era, I feel like was very bold because like, even when they do it in their movies, you kind of know it's coming and they prepare you for it like very heavily. This just kind of sidewinds you, like it's just suddenly happening, you know, with Aunt May and everything. Then I avoid spoilers, but the best I can without saying too much. But like, there's just this like moment where you realize like, oh, this is happening, and like this is how this game is gonna go down, and it's like, wow.
Yeah, it gets heavy real quickly. And it was just, yeah, it was such a fucking good game. I loved it.
Did you play Miles Morales?
I didn't.
I
want to. I heard great things about it, but it's on the list. just like all these other games.
First.
Yeah, that's kind of the one thing I've been waiting for, is just to get a PS5, because I don't know, I just need it.
Yeah,
but
don't worry, we'll be able to get one eventually. They'll eventually make one, and we can get it, and we'll be able to experience all these games. I don't mind waiting because I just spent in 2020 a fuckload of money on the current gaming PC I have, so I'm fine with focusing on PC for now. I sold my PlayStation 4 Pro to somebody who needed it, and I wanted to make some cash. I don't mind not having a PS4 right now because I also still have my Switch, and Switch still has loads of games that I'm playing because, you know, Nintendo has everything to themselves. So whenever PS5 becomes available, I'll get one, but right now I'm not too pressed about it.
Yeah, my wife got me my gaming PC, which is fucking dope. That's fucking amazing. Sweet. Yeah, but let's see. I think we should end it here. It's been almost an hour. So I got one last thing that I wanted to get to.
Okay.
And it's rapid fire questions. So
all right, I'm ready.
I'm going to give you, let's see, 5? I'll give you 5 questions. 5 seems fair. Alrighty. So, what scares you?
The idea of being alone.
Cats or dogs?
Dogs.
Your favorite cake flavor?
I don't like cake.
Shit. Hold on. What's your favorite position in bed? Not sexual, just
so like arm under the pillow, sideways.
nice. Have you ever stolen anything?
Yes. You just
Guess
incriminate
what?
me. Am I going to jail?
I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. Yes, what, where, what time, what store, and I will email them information.
Wasn't a
Alrighty.
store.
Oh, it wasn't a store. You stole somebody's heart. Oh, Kyle. Stop it. Cut it out.
No, I stole yours. It's in my hand right now. You're only gonna live for another 2 seconds before your brain realizes your vital organs are gone.
Oh, shit. Alrighty, man. Well, that was fun. I guess that's... I still don't know what this podcast is. But it's just...
For a pilot episode, I'd say it's important for people to remember that we were just talking about nothing, and it was a way to get our feet wet. And I used to do a podcast before this, so I have some experience, but I like new styles of podcasts too. So I really like the way that this turned out because it was mostly improv and there wasn't a lot of like super scripted. You just said this is what we're going to talk about, and then we talked about it, and that's really nice because when it's organic like that, I feel like it's a lot more honest.
Yeah,
and that's important. So yeah, this was fun. I can't wait to do it again.
Cool. So it looks like the show is going to continue. I didn't want to say anything. I didn't want to put anything out there into the universe that wasn't going to catch, but it works. So fuck yeah. Cool. So I guess last things, do you have anything you want to plug? Socials?
Just
events?
Check me out on Twitch. I stream sometimes at twitch.tv/sometimeskyle. We're doing some Nautica right now. It's a saga. It's gonna be going for a while longer still. Shout out to everybody from both communities, or all the communities rather. Everybody that supports Kyle over on YouTube, everybody that supports me on Twitch, and everybody that makes a deal to watch his videos, check out his content. Super awesome dude. Plugging the guy who's making the video now. Great guy. You should check out his other videos. Watch the Resident Evil 4 text-to-speech video, because that is amazing. Yeah, have your pets spayed and neutered. Have your pets spayed and neutered, and have a good night.
Yeah. Get those pets neutered. Nuttered.
Nuttered.
Yeah. Well, I don't. I hate plugging socials and just doing all that shit. But anyways, Twitter, The Average Kyle, YouTube, The Average Kyle. That's my stuff. But go check out Kyle. All the stuff that he said, where he's at, Twitch, watch his videos, go hang out in his streams. He's a great guy. He has the same last name as me, or not last name, first name. He has a first.
Wait a minute,
the same
we're
first
the
name.
exact same person.
We're brothers.
Our mother
Alrighty.
just hated us and named us both Kyle.
Yep. They're doing something wrong. Okay. Alrighty. Well, that's it. I shall see you guys next time, and thanks for listening or watching. So, good night.